Hey there, hey, this is Michelle with Brilliant Quest, and today I want to talk to you about something that I find personally so wonderful to my soul, and it is how to build your confidence. Yeah. All right. So, a lot of people would never admit to it, but they lack confidence. And confidence, and I'm just gonna, like we do, I'm gonna tell you my two main points I want to make today. Okay. So, if you're wondering, confidence is about the exercise of continual trusting in yourself, and confidence is about courage. Okay. Uh, out of, and you know what? I said the two, but I'm going to give this one because this one falls under both of them, but I'm going to give this one up there too. Experience. Confidence is not about what you feel about yourself. Confidence is evidence of what you experience in yourself. So the biggest way to build your confidence is going to be to increase the trust factor that you trust yourself. It is going to be where you increase your courageousness, and it is going to be where you seek out and you search for and you make sure that you get experience. All right, let's take trusting. All right, limiting beliefs. And I know I just jumped into that, but trust. One of the biggest things that you're going to find when you deal with trust is when you root down in there. I'm talking about like when you get way down in the bottom of the junk drawer and you see the sediments that are supporting all this crap. It's going to be limiting beliefs, and limiting beliefs are a lot of times irrational. They are not based in any kind of anything. They're just phobias run amok. And I've talked about the difference between a fear and a phobia really quickly. A fear is something that really happened to you. A phobia is an irrational fear of something that didn't happen to you. And limiting beliefs a lot of times are based in irrational phobias. A lot of times limiting beliefs are inherited fears and crap from previous generations or society. And so one of the things to help you build confidence, if you really want to do that, is you're going to have to do the work. And the work means you're going to have to go on an expedition where you go down deep and you figure out what are your limiting beliefs. Now, I wish I could tell you finding limiting beliefs are easy. They're not. Finding a limiting belief is like finding the last Easter egg in a field of weeds. It's hard. And the reason why it's hard is because limiting beliefs can be part of what we call a defense mechanism. Now, stick with me. Stick with me. This is going to make sense. I'm not going high. I'm staying right here with you. A defense mechanism is something that your mind has set up to protect you from harm. And that defense mechanism usually occurs between the ages of 0 and up to 9, because we're young and innocent in this horrible world, as children. And these defense mechanisms come to protect us. And as you grow older, the defense mechanism becomes less and less protective. And then it becomes more and more of an enemy to you. You'll be doing cuckoo stuff. You're like, I don't know why I do that. It does not make me feel good. Those types of things. So that's what a defense mechanism is. And limiting beliefs hide in the defense mechanism. And another thing, and I'm sorry, you guys, we're in the golden hour right now, and I use natural sunlight. And so if you see all this fluctuation, just stick with me. I'm still here. You can still see me. Okay. So just know it's like you see all that sunlight right there. Anyway. Okay. So with limiting beliefs can come in various forms, but one of the most insidious that we in the Western world especially live with are the beliefs that cause us to shrink when we face the unknown. Yeah. Like for instance, okay, this is the biggest one. And if this is what you're going on and you get this light bulb, continue to go. It's going to fight you. Oh, it's going to fight you. But it's called learned helplessness. And the way it was explained, a lot of times for learned helplessness it's when you have a societal pattern that is imposed on you to keep you in line. They use the example of when they used to have these horrible practices for carnivals when they would be trying to break an animal in. And they talked about how they would take a baby elephant or, a new elephant to the circus, and they would tie a chain around the elephant's leg, and then they would put a post in the ground. And that meant that elephant could go no further than the length of the chain. So they only had that particular circle that they could travel in. And they would keep that elephant posted, even though they would try to yank the chain and everything, they could go no further. Once the trainer started seeing that the elephants would automatically know, I can't go any further, and they would stop, they would take the chain off, and they wouldn't have to worry about the elephant going outside of the circle. That's learned helplessness. And that is one of the societal things that help us to build these limiting beliefs. Okay, so think about that in your own life. How many times were you told, don't go past the fence, this is dangerous? And you got to the point where you didn't go past the fence. Now that fence could be a real fence, or it could be an experience. Don't go over there because they kill people. Don't try to do this because these people are bad. Or don't, all of these beliefs that were imposed on you to keep you in line. And now they've been so ingrained in you that you don't even realize you have them. You see why limiting beliefs can be hard to root and suss out? Because they're really good at being invisible, but they're still there and they're still working. Honey, they're working when you go to sleep. Have you ever had it where you have this invisible barrier that no matter how much you try, you can't get past either this achievement, this amount that you earn, this type of person that you are in relationship with? It's just always this invisible barrier, limiting belief. And yes, somebody else could know your limiting belief and tell you, and you still not be able to break it. And the antidote to that of limiting beliefs, learned helplessness, comes in the form of trust. You must start to trust yourself. You see, part of the reason why we lack confidence in learning how to trust ourselves is because for some babies out here, for some of us, you've never had the win where it worked out for you. So you don't have the memory to refer to of when it did work out for you. And so you don't trust yourself. There's this exercise that you can use to find out if you really trust yourself. And you can't lie. Don't lie on it. And this exercise is simply this. Write down, if I could not fail, and if I had an unlimited supply of resources, what would I do? If you have a problem trusting yourself, first of all, it's going to be hard for you to even list what would you do. If you have dreams and stuff that you can list, you're going to have a hard time of writing down the steps of what you would do. Most people, and this is sad, but most people, when we give them that, do you know what they say they would do? They say they would rest. They say that they would do something that doesn't require movement, something that turns them into themselves. They would say, I would rest. Or maybe you get I would take a vacation. Then what? Then what's what you gonna do then? That is indicative of there not being a trust factor for you to do what you are purposed to do. Check out this video where I talk about purpose and passion and how people get duped by passion, thinking that it's really their purpose, and why passion can be bad if you're trying to turn it into purpose. But this is indicative of you don't trust yourself to do anything productively purposeful, And it's sad because when you've lived a life where you've never gotten past the little circle of the chain, all you want to do is stop struggling against the chain. That's what you think your purpose is. You think your purpose is to finally get the chain out the ground so you can be free, so you can rest, you can take a vacation. But that has nothing to do with your confidence, because confidence is proactive, and confidence does not work if you are always living a reactionary life. Don't shout me down when I'm preaching good. I know. You have to start working on increasing your trust in yourself. People don't want to let you know that it really is this internal work, because they want you coming to them for them to pump you up, for you to get in a group where they tell you, you can do it. And all you're doing is just running a little bit. But as soon as they stop cheerleading for you, it all goes to kablooey. That's not trust. That's borrowing other people's confidence. That's working as long as somebody is big upping you and cheering you on. You've not trusted yourself. You've just become really good at living off of the emotional high of what others say. And thus you are destined to fail when they stop cheering, because inevitably the cheerleaders got to put the pom-poms up too. They got to go home too. All right. So, but this is about you being able to be confident. I had someone ask me, a family member asked me, aren't you scared to, have to take care of yourself by not working for anybody? Where do you get all this confidence? And I had to quickly tell them, I ain't confident. I'm courageous, and that brings me to the next point, and that is courage. Courage is the fuel that builds confidence. Most people think that confidence is this static part of your personality, that you're just a confident person. No, a lot of times that is arrogance. Confidence is built off of certainty because you have done things, and therefore you don't have to waver. And you see how that builds back into trust? You must first start trusting yourself, getting rid of limiting beliefs, making sure that you suss out all of those areas where you have learned helplessness. And then once you start trusting yourself, you can go and now be courageous to do things outside of that circle where the chain was holding you down, whether it be a self-defense that your poor little infant little brain put up to help you get through this world, or whether you're like, I'm just fed up and I'm tired and I know I want more. And you can see past what you can do if everything worked out for you and you had all the money and you can get past just wanting to rest or take a vacation. Now you can figure out, I want to do this. I want to do that. Do you know there's somebody right now, and I'm talking to you, you're in your late 60s, and you always wanted to sing, but life happened and you have these limiting beliefs where you feel like, I can't do that. I'm too old. My voice is old. I want you to know that you, trust me, yes, you, I'm talking to, you can start right now. And you'll never know the day will never know the power of a year. A year from now, you could be successfully singing and enjoying it and having a new lease on life with confidence to sing in front of other people. All right. Back from the side quest. All right. So courage. Isn't it funny that rage is in courage? Yeah. That rage against the deafening death knell of normality, of not taking the road less traveled, of not doing something out of the humdrum of a normal life. When you have courage, that means that you are willing to do something that supersedes your fear of the unknown. One of the things about confidence that people don't really readily tell you is that confidence relies on courage to help it have a repository of what it can do. Confidence builds on what courage is producing. Without courage to face your day, without courage to fail, without courage to go without a map into the wilderness, means that your confidence gets more and more limited. And as you can tell, this is courage for me, because like I said, this is real. You know, you don't get dye jobs for gray hair like this. And I say this to the people in the big ages. You got to be careful, because confidence wanes the older you get if you do not continue or start being more and more courageous. I love it when I see, especially people in their real big ages. Like there was this lady who just died, and she started skydiving every year after I think she turned 100. And so she was skydiving after she was 100. And I was like, that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Now, that's an exaggerated example of what I'm talking about with courage, but you have to be courageous, and courage each day does not look like, I'm here, I'm scared, I'm doing it scared, but I'm here. That is one form of courage. But you know what a bigger form of courage is? Y'all ain't ready for this one. Being authentic and making amends, saying, I apologize, please forgive me, to yourself. And if you got others where you got unfinished business that's psychically weighing you down with guilt that you don't even realize, that guilt is part of that invisible barrier keeping you from going any further because you don't feel like you deserve to have more because you ain't right with some people. Being able to have the courage to clear up all that stuff, the unfinished business, so that you can be whole. In the therapy where we call it gestalt, to mean being whole, letting the other shoe drop, understanding that the recoil of your actions might not feel good, but that's courage. Picking up a phone and making amends with somebody that you know you did wrong. I apologize. Or send them a text if that's what you can do, if that's your level of courage, and being okay if they leave you on red, if they don't even reply. But being able to let that go. Courage starts with shoring up yourself, because it doesn't benefit you any if you run out into the world with all these fragments and holes in yourself. It causes you to have to do more work that gets outside of courage and just gets into delusion, when you could do what you need to plug up all the holes that you have the ability and the authority to take care of, so that when you go out and you face bigger things that you've never done in the world, facing the world, you don't have to worry about the little stuff that it's like what they say, it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. And so being courageous means that you start with facing your own stuff, clearing out all of that psychic trauma, weight, guilt, shame, any of those things, jealousies, all of that stuff. Let it go. Apologizing. One of the biggest things for a lot of people who lack confidence, they have unresolved issues where they have not apologized. Their egos won't let them say, you know what, I apologize. Now, you notice I don't say I'm sorry, because to me, you're not sorry. You are human. I am all about I am statements. So I don't usually like to say that I'm sorry. Say I apologize and really mean it. There's this book that talks about how to apologize, how to say you're sorry. And I'll put it up here. It's a great read. It's a therapist, and she's really good at giving you the hard truths in a palatable way. She gives you even examples of what really is not an apology, but just a snarky, egoic way of getting somebody told. Those, if I've done anything to offend you, I'm sorry. That is not an apology, and that is not going to help you be courageous. So I'll put that one up here too, but be courageous. And then with that, because you have to do it daily, you have to be consistent with courage. That is going to build experience. And that comes to the one. Now, like I said, I'm throwing this one in the end because it's inherent in trusting yourself, you have to, form a habit and get the experience of trusting yourself more and more. But you also have to be courageous. And so you form the habit of being courageous. But let me just talk really just a moment about experience. There is no courage without experience. And if you think it's courage, usually it's youthful hubris of just doing something stupid. You think this person is courageous because they're going out and grabbing a bull. No, that's youthful exuberance at best and stupidity at worst. Real courage is built on being certain, based on your track record of showing up, of being courageous, of trusting yourself, whether it works out or not. Because when you're confident, you are the one who is able to place the biggest bet on you, because you know you have a tendency to pay off in major dividends. And so to build your courage, the first thing you got to do is you start getting the experience of trusting yourself, getting the experience of being courageous. And you can't help but build your confidence. So don't say I didn't tell you. See, this is the stuff that when it comes down to it, we got to have these big sis talks. We got to have this, baby, I've been where you got to go. I know what it looks like to fake the funk. I know what it looks like to be egoically driven by arrogance that is really not confidence, but thinking I'm confident until it crashes and burns and I can't get back up. I understand what it means to be so crushed, to not trust your mind and to have to fight my way back to mental stability, to rebuild confidence. How do you think I'm getting on here every day? Every day. Right now, because I'm not going to do this forever, but you understand. This is just as much for me as it is for me sharing and serving you and being useful to you, because I understand the tenets of what confidence is. And confidence requires, you cannot take a shortcut. It requires that you trust yourself. You root out limiting beliefs. You get out of learned helplessness. You let go of the defense mechanisms that no longer are good for you or to you. You get into being courageous every day. You fess up. You apologize. You make amends. It's kind of like you almost do a 12-step, like Alcoholics Anonymous if need be, because it's hard to be courageous when you got skeletons. It's hard to move forward when you got this fear of somebody saying, oh, you're not that because you didn't do right by me. Make it right with people. And if it's not people, make the situation right. There are some people that the reason why you're not confident is because you have financial unforgiveness. You haven't forgiven yourself about how you've worked with your finances. If you can't say yes, just say, I'm working on it. But you'll find out these things when you start sussing out your limiting beliefs, when you start working through regaining the trust you have for yourself. Why do you think it is so important to work on your mind? Well, that's your brain, to work on your mind. Because when you start working on this kind of stuff, you can have heaven on earth. You can have the things that you've always wanted and you rightfully deserve. But it does take some work, and it does having these kind of hard conversations with yourself. Before you get the confidence, you must get the trust. Before you get the trust, a lot of times you're going to get a lot of embarrassment. Be ready for it. But know that embarrassment came to pass, not to stay. It's not going to be that way every day. It's going to get better and better and better. Because in every day and every way, we are getting better and better. So guess what? I want you to make sure that you watch this next video. I want you to make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Talk to me. Let me know. If there's something that you think that your big sis Michelle with Brilliant Quest can help and expound on, put it in the comments. Let me check. I try to make sure I check the comments. All right. And guess what? My time is up. I thank you for yours. This is Michelle, your big sis with Brilliant Quest. I'm going to see you sooner than later. Now go on and watch the next video. Bye.